It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
It's Car Con Carne. We are live a little bit earlier than usual. Quarantine Con Carne still sheltering in place. Car Con Carne sponsored by C&H Financial Services. As business owners continue to adjust to everything brought on by the coronavirus, C&H Financial Services is here to help. They offer a variety of products ranging from traditional merchant accounts to a zero-cost payment processing solution, which eliminates the expenses associated with accepting Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express as a form of customer payment. C&H Financial Services eTab solutions, easy to set up for your business for online ordering and curbside pickup. C&H also offers cost-effective commercial lending programs, which can help you get your business the money it needs to make it through these unprecedented, nay, dystopian times. To learn more, contact C&H Financial Services at 855-600-2437 or go to chfs.us. So I'm James Van Alstyne, and my guest tonight is Bob Chiarito. Bob is a journalist. He is really about as hyper-local a journalist as you can find. And just to kind of give you context, Bob, in the Facebook Live post, I wrote, chaos, violence, and fear. That's how Chicago woke up this morning. Reporter Bob Chiarito was on the scene covering the events for Block Club Chicago. You were there. Holy crap. I mean, I was looking at what you were putting on Twitter, live video, gunshots in the background. Can you walk us through your morning in Chicago?
Yeah, it was pretty insane, to be honest. I was down there from about 12:30 till about 2. And frankly, by that time, I had kind of seen enough. It was getting really, really out of control. And bottles, I mean, there was a bottle maker's mark that kind of came close to me. And then the gunshots that were about 60 feet away. And I was like, you know what? I think I have enough. So I pulled out at that point. It was, I covered the violence or the looting back on May 30th and May 31st. And that was bad. But last night seemed a lot more dangerous, to be honest.
What was the difference? Was there less of a police presence? Were there more?
Well, I think that the police on May 30th and May 31st, they were already, first of all, when it started on the 30th downtown, they were already in force downtown because of the peaceful protest. And then even on the 31st, there was no real gunshots and stuff. Last night, there was a lot of gunshots and pretty much everyone who was down there seemed to have arrived in cars, and with the only purpose to be down there was to break windows and to loot. So it was, there was no peaceful protesters last night.
From a technique perspective, this always fascinates me. How did you know to be there? Like, how did you as a journalist know that was where you needed to be and you had to be covering it? Because this is the middle of the night.
Yeah. Yesterday was really turned out to be a busy day. I did 3 stories in the afternoon and evening, and I got done a little bit late, and then I was a little bit wound up, so I decided to watch a late night movie. And then I got a text from a photographer buddy who he wasn't there, but he was hearing something that there was looting going on near Michigan Avenue. So I checked it out real quick, and I was out the door 5 minutes later, just knowing that my editors would, obviously want it. So, and I actually didn't hear from them until 4 a.m. because they were sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, I woke up to a Block Club Chicago email, like a breaking news email that linked to your stuff. I'm like, oh my God, this all happened while I was asleep.
Yeah,
you were there. It was fascinating just watching people from their apartments downtown, like shooting video of what was going on below them. I woke up thinking every day it just, everything feels overwhelming. This feels like I can't imagine how we keep moving.
And it went on until 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning from about midnight. So it was pretty crazy.
So did you talk to any police while you were down there? Did you talk to other civilians, other reporters? Like, what were people saying? What was
Well,
the
when I was
conversation?
down there, yeah, I did talk to police. They were kind of shaking their heads at it mostly, and kind of looking out for the bottles being thrown. I tried to talk to a few looters. Most of them didn't want to talk at all. When I was there was no other people. There was no, spectators or anything like that. And there was really no other reporters. The Tribune guys came, I think, right around the time I was leaving. And then Mark Reno, who's a freelance reporter and a friend of mine, he came after me as well. In fact, I had called, or Mark had called me. I didn't call him because it was like 2 a.m. and I figured it's a Sunday night. But he called me to ask me what was going on. I told him it was really crazy. And me and him had covered the stuff on May 30th and 31st. And so he's no rookie. He's been reporting for a long time. But he called me about an hour and a half later because he had went down there to see for himself. And he called me. He said, I've never been scared in my career, but I was scared tonight. So it was pretty intense.
And this is something I don't think journalists get enough credit for. I mean, you're walking into danger. There's that commitment. I don't think people, the true dyed in the wool for real journalists I know. I mean, you folks are committed. You're committed to telling the truth and sharing the story and getting to the story. You're doing that proverbial walk to the fire instead of away from the fire. You're putting yourself in harm's way for the public's information. It's a higher calling in some respects.
Yeah, it's the one thing, when I'm there, I'm kind of responsible to take video and pictures as well, which is not really my forte, but I'll do it. But I also hold back. I don't take pictures of like individual people with looting and things like anything where I think there's a danger that I'm going to, make somebody mad. And the last thing I need is a group of people jumping me. So I'm kind of real careful about that. And obviously I'm a reporter, a writer. So I just kind of documented in my head. And at the same time, I did get a lot of pictures and videos, as you saw. So I got enough. And, then when it got really dangerous, that's when I decided to leave, because after a while, it kind of was the same scene over and over again.
Yeah, you got your story, you got your footage. Be safe. Let the police do what they do. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching footage that you took of looters just walking into places.
Yeah,
you're that close. I mean, even with the zoom, I'm like, this dude's pretty close to where this stuff is happening.
Oh yeah, and I was closer when I wasn't taking pictures. And there was some great stuff that I kind of wish I had, but I just thought it was too dangerous, and just conversations of looters who had to put their stuff down because they couldn't figure out where they parked, just like really Twilight Zone kind of stuff. And other looters who were looking for their rides to pick them up. And it was just really surreal.
For a lot of us who aren't that close to situations like this, there's that national perception that Chicago is Escape from New York. It's just, it's in flames. The city's, days away from just being razed. How accurate or far off is it? I mean, something like this happens this morning. I'm like, well, Jesus, maybe things are worse than I realized.
Yeah. I think people have to realize how big the city really is. And even downtown, most places didn't get damaged. There was a lot of damage, of course, but, and the looters were, I'm not sure about the number, probably 500 or 600. There was a lot, but it wasn't like the whole city was down there tearing things up. So I think it's important to kind of take a deep breath and realize, the buildings will be okay. And they are insured and everything like that. But the sad part is, and I hear that from people, but I think they miss the point that, the people who work there, I mean, these are people who live on the west side, live on the south side. And those are the jobs that are now gone, at least for a while. So it's really sad. And when that happens in the neighborhoods, hopefully that's what I think everyone's hoping now, that looting doesn't move into the neighborhoods like it did in May. because in May, the looting started downtown, and then the next night it was in the neighborhoods. Hopefully, we won't see a repeat of that.
So for more context, I mean, it's just last week I read your story about FBG Duck, rapper killed, Gold Coast, broad daylight. Things are feeling. We're all on edge.
Yeah, and that was obviously a targeted, slaying. But I think, the real danger is all these other, we were thinking, and they're still thinking there might be retaliation for that. And the problem is, it's not just these gangbangers. Obviously, these guys are not sharpshooters. So it's a 7-year-old kid who gets hit by a bullet. And we've seen that time and time again this year, unlike any other year, which is really sad and just crazy. There was always kids every year, every summer, 1 or 2 little kids, innocent kids who got hit, and it'd be a huge story. But we've never seen this many over a short period of time, under 10 years old. There's been like 20 something kids under 10 shot and killed. It's really insane.
It is. And you've covered so many different things. I mean, just during this pandemic period, Lori Lightfoot going after the beachgoers this week on Montrose Beach.
Yeah.
I mean, she just chased him down, took her pictures, and tell that story, because this is one of the more interesting stories of the week, I think.
Well, yeah, honestly, we were a little bit late to that story, but we got an interesting angle, I thought. She had gone down there Saturday evening and saw a large gathering of people with no social distancing, no masks on, and she took a picture, or had her photographer take a picture and posted it on Twitter and saying, it's called the pandemic, people. And then and she said, I was there personally, and this will be addressed. And it was addressed. They put up a fence, like one of those snow fences. And but I went down there Sunday evening, and there were still people on the beach. A fence maybe went 300 yards, but it didn't cover the whole, entire length. So people just kind of walked to the end of the fence and walked to the beach. And there was a decent amount of people still there, and kind of just shrugging their shoulder. I mean, 2 people shrugged their shoulders, and when I asked them about it, and we're like, oh, whatever. So, and, we've seen the spikes. I'm not sure, I will say it seems like there was a lot of uneven rules, but that's a topic for maybe another day. But, for now, the beach has always been closed. So.
Well, you covered the Cork and Kerry closing in Beverly.
Yeah, that was another place. They got shut down because they violated, according to the city, social distance and masks. And also, I think, if I remember right, they were open later than they were allowed to be. Yeah. There's been, it's hard to keep track. So many stories. It is.
I mean, respectfully, I want there to be a week or 2 where you have nothing to write about. I mean, I respect what you do for a living, but dear God, we need a break. Yeah. I'd like some quiet weeks.
Covering R. Kelly and Smollett, and I made the mistake of, I think this was like in February, right before COVID. I said, there was a lull with R. Kelly and Smollett with those cases. So we kind of had nothing to write about for a little while. And I said, I told a reporter friend, I said, we need a big one. And then COVID came. So
how dare you? How dare you? I blame you, Bob Chiarito.
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for.
Hey, they're the human interest stories in this time of pandemic. I mean, the Manny story, I thought, was one of the more interesting stories to come out of social media and just kind of explode. Because you kind of assume, to backtrack, Manny's, longtime famous deli over on Jefferson. I've been going there since I was a kid. Went there with my grandparents. Everyone went there with the grandparents. Presidents ate there. There are certain places you just kind of assume will survive the pandemic. You know that there are question marks around some businesses, and it sucks to even say it, but there's some you just think, oh, they'll be okay. They're who they are. That wasn't the case with Manny's. They basically threw a Hail Mary, like, help us, we're hurting.
Yeah.
It took a lot of people by surprise.
exactly. And I think it kind of woke people up. If Manny's is in trouble, that means, any place is potentially in trouble. So, and luckily it was nice. People did step up, and hopefully they'll continue, because I think it's going to take more than that week long of a boost of sales for them. But yeah.
And Manny's has the high profile. They can gather that attention quickly. I think of every independently owned restaurant in the city and suburbs who doesn't have as much social yank as Manny's, who definitely needs their neighborhood to help.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, some of the predictions for the amount of restaurants that won't come back are pretty scary, and it's really sad because it's people's livelihoods. So.
Yeah, it's the owner's livelihoods. It's the people who work there. It's the bussers. It's the kitchen staff. It's the servers. It's everything. It sucks. All right, what are you brewing right now? What are you working on? Hopefully,
hopefully nothing tonight, because if I'm back out there tonight, that means there's more chaos. So I'm hoping to be able to hang out and relax tonight, because I slept about not even 2 hours. But
we were a couple tornado warnings later. I mean, it's been a day.
Yeah. What am I working on now? I don't know. I have a police related story that has nothing to do with these this civil unrest, and it's always kind of like whatever else comes to me, and usually, luckily, knock on wood, it does. So I think tomorrow I'll be doing some stuff for the Daily Line, which is more political related stuff. And we'll see. So
it's certainly a good time to be a journalist, and lots to keep you
yeah, for sure.
All right, Bob Chiarito, thank you for the work you do. I've been keeping tabs on everything you're doing in Block Club Chicago and everywhere else. Like I said, you're the guy who runs toward the fire, and we benefit from it. We learn from it. So thank you for the work that you do.
Thanks, James.